So today's video, we are going to look at a little bit of work on the roller. I don't know how many of you have a roller at home, but some people have bought them for muscle rolling, muscle release. Sometimes people might have the short one, which won't work for a lot of the work we're going to do today, but it will work for some of it. This one is a 90 centimetre one, and they are brilliant for balance, stability. They allow you to lie on your back with less base of support, because you lie them from the crown of the head to the bottom of the pelvis, and you can feel where they run down the centre of the spine, but you then have lost your sort of shoulder blades and back of the rib cage and sides of your pelvis contact with the floor. So it requires your body and your brain to work a little bit harder to find your balance. If you don't have one, all is not lost. You can get a blanket. This probably isn't a big enough blanket because this is actually a shawl. But if you have a big blanket, you want to make sure it is around 90 centimetres so it will work for you. And then you can roll it up and create your own form of a roller. So it won't be quite as unstable, but it will give you that lift away from the floor, which reduces the surface area of your body that's in contact with the floor. So if you want to have a play and you don't have a roller, that is a good option. And then I've got a couple of hand weights. These are nice, just light 1 kg ones, but 400 gram tins of beans or cans, tomatoes, any cans can be used as a substitute. You're going to place the weights either side of your mat. You're going to place your roller at the top, at one top end of your mat. Whenever you're going down, whether it's onto a roller or a blanket or a roll blanket, you want to perch right on the end of it. Use your arms to guide you and find your way down onto your back. And you want to shuffle up or down to make sure you feel secure underneath your pelvis and secure at the back of the head. And then the vertebral column should be stacked on top of the roller. You won't feel the contact in your lower back because you should have that sort of strawberry sized space in your lower back where you could fit a strawberry and not squash it. But then you will have contact with the roller up through your rib cage. Again, you'll have that space at the back of your neck where you come off the roller, and then the back of your skull. If you are somebody who struggles keeping their chin in because you've got some tightness in the back of your neck, you can put a folded towel or a small cushion behind your head if it needs that for being comfortable. In terms of how far apart your feet go, what you can do is place your hands on the floor for balance and bring your feet together. If you lift your hands up, you will then feel a little bit rocky and potentially a little bit unstable. Certainly if we start moving our arms around in space, it'll make you wobble. So then you can turn your toes out, make a big V with those feet and line the heels up behind them. And then you can lift your hands up here and see if you can move your arms about and feel stable. If you can, then your feet are wide enough. If you're still wobbling, turn your feet out once more and line them up and check again. Check again. I want you to feel stable on the roller and not like you're having to grip anywhere to hold on. I want you to be able to let go and trust that your body can find its balance even if there's a little bit of wobble. We're going to then take hold of your cans of beans or your small weights, and we're going to reach those arms to the ceiling. You're going to take a breath. As you exhale, you're going to reach those hands to the sky, separating the shoulder blades on your back, making sure they don't shrug up to your ears, keep them down. And then as you breathe in, you're going to melt those arm bones down to the sides of your body and let the edges of the shoulder blades come back towards the roller. Breathing out, pushing up. Breathing in, melting down. Breathing out, pushing up. Breathing in, melting down. Focusing on where you feel like the head of the humerus is, the top of this arm bone. As you push the arms up, it's traveling forwards towards the front of the rib cage. And then as you release down, it's coming back towards the middle. If you keep going, it will drop back towards the back side of the shoulder blades, of the rib cage. And you will eventually want your neutral position to be somewhere in between those points where it feels like it's right on the sides of your shoulder blade, on the sides of your rib cage, so that you've got it in a nice stable position. Your shoulder blades are nice and flat on your back. You're not pushing those shoulders forwards. You're not pulling them too far back. They're nice and settled on the sides. So find that location in your mind's eye and settle your shoulders there. And then from here, you're going to take one hand down to a hip and the other hand up above your head. And you're going to test how that feels with the weights in your hand, and then you're going to switch them. As you move the arms, you might get a little bit of wobbling on the roller. If it's too much wobbling, make your feet a little bit wider. If you feel you can relax into the wobble and just let your body adjust and correct itself to find its stability, then do that. Let your body just find its way. If you're on a softer form of roller, so a rolled up blanket, you may not feel as much wobbling, but you might be aware of a tiny bit, but you'll be working more on that shoulder girdle stability as you take the arm up and down on each side, testing that control in those what we call glenohumeral joints, or the shoulder joints. Is the arm able to control that weight in the hand by coordinating all the little muscles around the shoulder to do a nice smooth coordinated movement, keeping those weights moving smoothly without lots of jerking. If you're getting lots of jerking and feelings of instability, it's indicating that your shoulders may be not as connected with your brain as they should be. And this is a really nice way of connecting them. As long as you're not getting any pain or discomfort throughout the movements, you can build your strength and coordination here. And releasing back to the top. So then I want to take the elbows out and do a push forwards with the arms. So you're going to take the elbows straight out to the sides, level with your shoulders, and the hands stay over the elbows. And then you're going to push back up on the exhale. So you're going to inhale as you widen those elbows. Reach those elbows either side of the room, really widening the front of the chest and the collarbones. Breathing out as you push back up. Breathing in. Softening and widening, allowing the breath to fill the whole of your trunk 360 degrees. And as you breathe out and exhale, you can engage your core. You can find your pelvic floor, find your transversus, that wrapping muscle of the abdominal area, and you can engage it on your exhale. Breathing in, widening. Breathing out, exhaling. So you feel strong in your core as you do this, breathing in and softening and widening. Breathing out, exhaling, engaging your core. 2 more, breathing in and breathing out. Now, as long as that is completely fine and pain-free, you can just do a practice. You're going to take the elbows wide, and then you're going to take the arms wide. And then from that lovely open position, feel any stretch across the front of the chest if you've got one. And then you're going to exhale, engage your core, and pull from your breastbone to the fronts of those arms to try to close. Visualize a bird in flight. As your arms open, the bird, we're an upside down bird, so the arms are lifting if you're a bird, and then you're going to pull the arms back down. So that lovely flapping movement of a bird, which if you think of the breast of a chicken, which is a big, strong muscle, you're using those pec muscles that we've got, which are nothing like the strength because we don't use our arms in the same way, but you're imagining that strength in the front of your chest as you pull your arms up together on the exhale. Breathing in and opening the chest on the inhale. Breathing out on the exhale. Depending on your range of movement, as long as there's no discomfort, you can lower the backs of the hands towards the floor. I'm very tight in the front of my chest, so that feels quite tight at the ends of the ranges. But it's really good to try to open back. And 2 more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. And breathing out. Then the last one we're going to do, you're going to bring the hands together. So if you've got cans or anything or weights that you maybe have them even touching, and you could even hold them between your 2 hands depending on how big what you're holding is. You are now going to take your arms just above your head as far as you can control the weight and control the ribs. So you breathe in as you go back, and then you breathe out to come up. But as you breathe in and go back, I want you to breathe into the back of your body down into the roller. And I want you to make sure your rib cage does not lift or arch away from the roller as your arms go back. So I'm just going to do it one-armed so I can show you here. If I followed the arm with my ribs, I'd be arching my rib cage up, and I don't want to see that at all. I want these ribs to stay settled down onto the roller so I can feel my spine in the middle of my back connected down. And as the arm goes back, that stays the same. My ribs are not following the shoulder. So you're going to actually, we'll reverse the breath. We're going to breathe out to start with as you take the arms back, and breathe in to come up, because I want you to exhale and pull the ribs down as you let the arms go up. And then inhale, if you like, to come the other way. Breathing out, connecting those ribs down as you let the arms find their length and opening. And exhale. So breathing in, breathing out. You can breathe in at the bottom if it's easier, or you can breathe in to come back up, whichever works for your movement pattern, whichever feels like you get the strongest connection through your body as you're moving those arms. 2 more. Making sure those ribs are not following you. And then we're going to place the handheld weights down, and we're just going to do one little exercise for balance on the legs. So you're using your hands gently on the floor. So we're not gripping or pushing into the floor. They're just floating over the floor to balance. We're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to engage your core for stability, and then you're going to float one leg up into tabletop. And you're going to check in, can you stay relatively in the middle along your spine with the roller, or have you shifted your whole body? Breath in, and then breath out, engage your core before you lower down. Breath in, breath out, engage your core on the exhale as you float the other leg out, up, and check that you haven't shifted your whole body over. Breathing in here, breathe out, engage your core as you lower back down. Breathing in, breathing out, engaging your core. Breathing in, breathing out, engaging your core. Breathing in, breathing out, engaging. Breathing in, breathing out as you engage. So if that felt fine, you can bring both legs up into tabletop. If it felt unstable when you lifted each leg, if you felt you had a big shift from side to side, you want to keep working on reducing the shift. But if you could keep your weight central, you're going to take a breath, breathe out, float one leg up, take a breath, breathe out, float the second leg up. And your hands are resting on the floor, but they're not gripping. And there may be some wobbling. I'm just adjusting as I get used to the decreased base of support. Taking a breath, breathe out, engage your core before you tap a toe. Breathing in. Breathing out, engage your core as you tap a toe. Breathing in. Breathing out, engage your core. Little bits of wobbling. I haven't been on a roller for a while, and my body's making lots of little micro adjustments. But what the main thing is you don't fight those adjustments. Let the body play around with that, but just keep soft and relaxed so your body can find its strength and its coordination. Breathing out as you lower, breathing in to come back. Breathing out, one more each side. And the last one. And then you can release one leg down and the other leg down. We're then going to, you can either bring yourself up into sitting by pushing through your arms, or you can roll onto it, off onto an elbow and your feet and take the roller out. Before we do anything else, you're just going to roll onto the floor, whether you've had a rolled up towel or blanket or whether you've had a foam roller. It's really lovely to then lie on the floor afterwards and feel the full surface area of your back and pelvis back onto the mat. So just take a moment just to settle yourself into this position on the floor, and take a few lovely slow steady breaths down into the back of your body, thinking of expanding 360 degrees through the back, the sides and the front of the waist. Because we know we tend to expand more easily through the front of the waist because we tend to have more weakness there. We want to really send the air to the sides and the back where we tend to hold more tension. And then to finish off, we're going to do one more exercise with the roller today. I'm going to come up into sitting and I'm going to place the roller sideways across the mat. I'm then going to come onto my elbows and I'm going to move the roller until, if you're a lady, it's going to be around your bra strap level. If you're a man, you can imagine where that might be. So it's probably, if you're thinking male or female, nipple level, it's probably just below that. So you're finding that comfortable position for your back and you're putting your hands behind the back of your head. I want the two bony points I want you to think about are your pubic bone between your legs and the bottom of your breastbone at the bottom of your rib cage. As we do this exercise, you're thinking of extending your back over, gently over the roller, and you're thinking of your pubic bone stays still, you're not arching your lower back, but your bottom ribs will pull away and lengthen away from your pubic bone as you arch backwards, and then using your hands behind your head to support the weight of your head. You're going to then take a breath, and as you breathe out, you're going to pull back using your obliques and your rectus from the bottom of the rib cage, pulling it back down to bring you up. Breathing in as you lengthen away. And then you're going to breathe out, engaging your core to pull you back up. Breathing in and lengthening away. And breathing out to come back up. And I'm going to just talk through something important whilst you continue with this move. The really important thing is, as you start to breathe out to pull back up and you're engaging your core, make sure you've switched on your pelvic floor so you don't just bear down with your intra-abdominal pressure, and you're containing that intra-abdominal pressure through all sides. So you're exhaling, the diaphragm will be lifting up so you can draw up through your pelvic floor, and then you're wrapping your core, including your obliques and your rectus. And then you're using your inhale to really let go and lengthen that space in your belly. And then you're using the exhale to pull from the bottom of the rib cage. So the other thing I want you to check in is you're not pulling on your head and neck. Your head and neck is not changing position through this whole thing. You're keeping it supported, but the only thing that's moving is your rib cage. And then if you want to add a little bit more oblique emphasis rather than rectus, you're going to breathe in and expand and lengthen. And then you're going to breathe out, and as you start to come up, you're going to rotate the trunk towards one side. So you're thinking of the rib cage on the one side coming towards the pelvis on the opposite side. So you're getting those oblique connections. Breathing in, finding neutral and then extending. Breathing out, coming to neutral and then rotating the other way. Breathing in, finding neutral and extending. Breathing out, finding neutral and rotating. Breathing in, find neutral and then extend. Breathing out, find neutral and then rotate. Breathing in, find neutral, extend. Breathing out, find neutral and rotate. One more each side, breathing in, breathing out. So this is the side we went to first. And releasing. Then you can sit yourself up, remove the roller, and one last time, lie back onto your back and just enjoy the sensation of the floor behind your back. Just let it settle back in. You can have your one hand on your breastbone, one hand on your belly, and you can just allow yourself to breathe. I want you to feel some lift into your breastbone and belly, but I also want you to lift to feel the expansion back into the mat and out to the sides. So your hands on your belly and your breastbone can act as a monitor to see where the expansion is happening. And they can also act as a little bit of a brake, in that if you're pushing too far forwards into your breastbone or your belly, just place a little bit of pressure there to help you send the expansion into the back of your waist, the back of your ribs, and the side of your waist and ribs. So if you know you tend to dump the weight forwards into your front of your body, you want to just add a little bit of pressure there to allow you to focus on expanding laterally and back into the back of your body. And that's all. So thank you for joining me for the little session on the roller today. If you don't have one, there's so many fun things you can do with them, and I might do a few classes on them coming up. So if you enjoy using it, I would definitely recommend getting hold of one. If you don't enjoy using it, or you just found it useful to be on the rolled up blanket, then that's another alternative. But I will see you again next week. Cheerio!